Wednesday morning, heading to Tel Aviv, a couple of great meetings, not much I can record. I'm going to try to address some thoughts on the crypto space, Bitcoin, Ethereum, all those buzzwords. Again, I know very little about it, but I think there's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of confusion around the topic. So I'm going to try to address that. I'm going to meet an old friend for lunch at Mitos. And then the weekend, well, not really, Yom Kippur, but anyway, it's going to be a good day. Here we go. Starting day at Azrieli Mall. I need to get a card reader for this card. It's like 300 megabytes read-write, and nothing I've tried it with recognizes that it's too new. So I'm checking out some computer stores to see if I can find something. Azrieli Mall this early in the morning. It's like a ghost town. It's time to talk about some cryptocurrency action. A lot of people don't know what cryptocurrency is. Everyone's heard of Bitcoin. Ethereum, a little bit less. Crypto, almost no one. So, full disclosure, I am by no means an expert on crypto or on Bitcoin or any of these things, but I have been doing my research over the past, I'd say, a couple of months, trying to speak to people that are experts on the topic. So I think I have a more than basic grasp on what this whole world is, but I just want to say first, before I delve into it, that whenever there's something serious in terms of a trend, a market trend, there's always the people that like to belittle it and say, it's a bubble, it's going to burst, it's not going to last, it's not sustainable. Look at all trends, anything that changed. People don't like change, and so to those people that say that, it's not worth paying attention to cryptocurrencies, I think you need to take a step back and maybe look at the market kind of from 10,000 feet and say, this is something that I do not think is worth ignoring. Look at people that had Bitcoin from day one, how much that's worth today. Bubble, okay, we can discuss that. Lack of security, let's discuss it. But to ignore it is, in my opinion, completely silly. Now that we got that out of the way, let me tell you the basic premise, the way I see it at least. In the olden days, if you wanted to trade something, I had a horse and you wanted it, and you had straw, and I needed your straw, we would trade, right? Depending on how much you wanted my horse and how many other people wanted my horse, right? There's more demand and the price goes up. But that's it, we would trade. There was no middleman, right? No one had to kind of be the matchmaker here, and there's no reason there should be a matchmaker or a middleman. And so that's really the concept of the bank today. I mean, if me, you, and 50,000 other people walk into our bank today and say we want our money, the money's not there. The bank's trading our money. So why is it that if my money's being traded, I need the bank to be in the middle? And if I want to send you money and you're in Zimbabwe and I'm in Tel Aviv, why do I need the bank to charge me, IBAN and all these crazy fees? And why? Why do we need that middleman? The answer is regulation and government, and again, I'm super simplifying, oversimplifying, but the reality is, logically speaking, there's no reason for that middleman. And so that's what crypto is. It's created a new kind of currency that has finite supply, right? I can't just keep printing, Bitcoin, or like we print dollars. It's a certain amount, period. That's it. Doesn't matter how many people want it. There's no more Bitcoin in the world. It's finite. It's defined. Demand can go up. Supply can never go up, unlike the dollar, right? Today you can, not me, but more dollars are printed. It used to be each dollar, and again, I should say, there's a very good chance I'm saying some things wrong here, and I'm more than happy to kind of be corrected if you're watching this and I'm saying it wrong, but every dollar bill once upon a time had a piece of gold behind it. It signified, it was real. Today, you could, not me and you, but more dollars are printed all the time as demand increases, which means that this whole thing is one big bluff, which is the biggest question about crypto. People say, well, who cares, there's this digital currency. Who says how much it's worth? Who says how much a dollar's worth? It's a napkin, it's a piece of paper. So the answer is, there's a finite amount of supply, increased demand, and that's why Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have increased so much, because more people want it, and there's only a certain amount in the world. And that's when you mine and you trade, crypto. That's kind of the basic foundation of it, which is that we just cut out the middleman. And that's why you'll see the strongest opposition to crypto from those institutions, from the banks, from the big, financial gurus and experts in the world who say it's a bubble and it's gonna pop and people are gonna lose money. They might be right. But let's not ignore their vested interest. This entire movement of crypto is basically giving those people the big middle finger. So of course they're going to say that's not a real thing and it's gonna burst. So let's just take that in context. In any case, as I said, I'm by no means an expert, but that's the really basic premise, which is that just like there's dollars, which is fake and it's nothing, we'll create another currency, a digital currency, where I can transfer it to you using protocols on the internet with, of course, security. And there are issues there because if you get hacked, you can get your money stolen, and that's happened many times. But if I want to send you money, I don't need to go to the bank, I don't need IBAN, I don't need fees, I don't need all kinds of garbage. I literally could just send it to you. Now that's the basis. Then there's an entire world built upon that. Including phones that were announced recently that will enable you to create a network of crypto, I don't know what you want to call it, subscribers, users, whatever it is, where I could transfer you money, but that's just the basic kind of premise of it. We can do a lot more. We're on our own network here. The reality is there has to be a lot of work done in terms of security, in terms of just accessibility. I mean, how many people do you know that have Bitcoin? I don't know that many. I know a few, and I'm a geek, and all my friends are geeks. So the fact that I only know 5-10 people that have Bitcoin means that it's by no means replacing the dollar anytime soon. Having said that, I think the founder of Ethereum spoke last week or 2 weeks ago at TechCrunch Disrupt and said, I think in 5 years it will be as mainstream or as widespread as Visa. I don't know if that's true or if it's not true. The reality is, like I said, this is something worth paying attention to. I'm not an expert, but the concept is fairly straightforward, and that is there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to send you money. There's no reason that with the banks trading for me, I can't trade myself, I can't transfer money myself, I can't take complete control over my own currency and make it accessible and enable transfer of money using the internet. And that's very, very basic. Now, like I said, I'm not an expert, but as I walked into this co-working space to talk about this a little bit, I bumped into someone that is an expert. And now I'm gonna ask him some questions. Hang on. So as I said, I am not an expert on the crypto world. I know the basics of it, but as I'm walking in here, I bump into a certain human being who is for sure someone who knows a whole lot more than myself. I don't know if there's such a thing as a crypto expert. I feel like it's too early to be a world-renowned expert, but this guy is definitely one of the most knowledgeable people about crypto, and I've known him forever. Who are you?
I'm your friend, Ouriel.
Ouriel Ohayon. How long do we know each other?
Too many years.
A long time, right?
10 years.
A decade, yeah.
10 years? Yeah, something like that.
So just give me real quick. You were like, you were building startups before it was cool to build startups. Give me your background.
I've been back and forth between building startups and investing in startups and venture capital.
For how long?
For forever. It's been 20 years.
You don't want to give your age, okay? you
White hair.
You started TechCrunch France, right?
Yeah, I was one of the early team members in the TechCrunch team, and I started TechCrunch France before we sold it to ICO.
Nice. And then you were the founder of AppsFire.
AppsFire. I also, before that, I worked for Lightspeed Ventures and Gemini Israel Fund.
I did not know you were at Lightspeed.
I was.
Lightspeed is probably like the top VC.
It's one of it is. It's one of the best funds.
And I love Tal Morgenstern.
Absolutely, they've got a great team.
Love Tal Morgenstern. Okay, well I didn't even know that. Okay, Gemini I knew, did not know Lightspeed. Okay, and then you had AppsFire, which was, how would you explain what
AppsFire was a recommendation engine for mobile apps, which we pivoted, as we say, to a mobile ad network, and we sold it a year later. And I also co-founded a venture fund in France, which is doing very well.
Oh, cool. Didn't know that. Well, it's been way too long, by the way. When was the last time I saw you? I feel like it's been years.
Too many years. I was in the US, so I moved back to Israel soon.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I'll give you what I told them, the introduction to crypto. I said, once upon a time, if I wanted your horse and you wanted my straw, we would trade.
Yep.
That's it. There was no middleman. We didn't need a middleman. And the price of that horse, meaning how much straw did I have to give you based on how badly I wanted your horse. And if there were other people that wanted your horse, that means the price went up, more demand, right? What happened was that we put these banks in the middle, number one, and number two, the dollar used to have gold behind it. It used to signify something. Then basically we said, all right, we'll just increase supply. There's more demand, we'll just print more dollars.
Right.
It's all one big bluff. We walk into the bank today, we want our money, you can't get your money back, they're trading it. Why do I need the bank to trade my money? If I want to send you money, you're in France and I'm in Tel Aviv, why do I need to pay fees and IBAN and all this garbage to send you money? Why? That's crypto.
That's, that's before crypto.
No, but I'm saying that's what crypto is here to solve.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
what is cryptocurrency? Tell me, I'm
to summarize what you just said is that if we don't have a third party to trust, the society as we know it is chaos. So the society was always built with intermediaries to incarnify and to represent trust. Trust for money, trust for law, trust for government and politics, etc. What happens with the internet is that we realize that this notion of trust has been damaged by hackers, damaged by abusers, and we realize that the system of trust, as it's been built for many years, is not necessarily working. Equifax has been hacked, bank has been hacked, e-commerce sites are hacked. So we need something else. We know that centralization of trust is not working enough. And here comes crypto. Crypto says there is a new way to define trust.
Can I just interrupt you for 1 second?
Sure.
I apologize for interrupting. You know I'm ADD though, so it's okay. You don't take it personally when I interrupt you, right?
Absolutely not.
The one thing I do want to say, I've said this many times on the vlog, is if you look at any of the hot companies today in tech, any of them, they all have one thing in common. They took something that was over here and they brought it down to here, right? They took transportation that belonged to only professional drivers, they brought it to regular people. They took hospitality that was hotels, they brought it down to Airbnb. They took communication, having a voice, having influence on the internet, from I have a PhD in journalism to Facebook and Twitter, right? So crypto in that way takes the power out of the hands of the banks and the ties and the suits and says, here, make your own currency.
Actually, it's wider than that. It's not just about the money and the currency, it's about trust from transaction. So tomorrow with the blockchain and crypto tokens or cryptocurrencies, we're going to be able to disintermediate any type of intermediaries that was trusted for any type of transaction. So for example, if you buy a house, you need to register it to a notarian, right? And he who says this house belongs to you. With the blockchain, you are able to take any type of transaction and register it in a safe way. And why does that work? Because the consensus about trust is not about a central organization that you say they're going to be trusted for that.
It's everyone.
It's a network of computers that know each other and built on a protocol that reinforces and incentivizes that trust mechanism. Therefore, anything that happens on the blockchain is valid and provable valid. And so that makes it absolutely secure. Cheaper to manage and cheaper to operate.
Let me just try to dumb this down. Correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Because I'm trying to dumb this down. For the blockchain to be hacked, you'd have to hack like a billion different kind of, I don't know what they're called.
Nodes.
There's the word. Beautiful. You cannot, I mean, it's not, I shouldn't say you can't, anything's possible, but like, it is the utmost insecurity and it is so difficult to hack that it's basically virtually impossible.
Well, let's look at what happened to Equifax, all right? We've seen all this scandal. So Equifax has a number of servers, and if you are very gifted, very motivated, you can hack it, and that happened, and that's devastating consequences. But on the blockchain, if Equifax was distributed on 1 million machines that are encrypted at the highest level with other networks that are reinforcing this encryption all the time, it's virtually mathematically impossible to crack that, no matter how motivated you are. There are weak points, there are weak targets, I mean, and usually they are human. So for example, if you hold your money on your phone, right, on your crypto on your phone, and you don't protect your phone, so someone can hack it and steal it. So there's always, but by design, the blockchain is the most secure and safest way to transact data, or transact money, or store data and store money.
Okay, now let me ask you a really stupid question, because I know this is going to sound stupid to you, but maybe to most people watching this isn't a stupid question. What is the connection between these two buzzwords, blockchain and crypto? What's the connection?
So you have to dissociate. I wouldn't say crypto versus blockchain. I would dissociate currency versus blockchain. Okay. So for example, Bitcoin is a currency. It's a way of payment. All right. I can pay you instead of giving you $1 shekel or $1. I can give you a fraction of Bitcoin, and that would be the equivalent because it has a value that is built for that. But the blockchain is a network of computers that can run a lot more than transaction for money. So with another blockchain called Ethereum, by the way, there is not just one blockchain, there is hundreds of different type of blockchains for different type of...
Aren't those called currencies? Those are called blockchains?
They are called chains, chains, and so some of those chains will run some tokens. So for example, you have a blockchain called Ethereum, okay? Ethereum is built to run decentralized applications, not necessarily built for money. For example, I can build a smart contract on Ethereum to exchange domain names between each other, okay? There is no money involved, but it will safely enable us to run decentralized, to transact our domain names. And those are built on Ethereum. There is another chain called Ripple, which is built for banks that enables them to exchange settlements between banks, not for us to pay money each other.
Okay, now you're getting too complicated.
Yeah, so I'm going back. Right? So the difference is that there are currencies that are really meant for payment and basically replace somehow the fiat money, the dollars, etc. And there are blockchains that are built for applications. and to design them and to run them. And they are built on separate chains. So right now you have both that are being developed, that are growing in value, and that are being adopted by developers and sometimes by users.
Okay, got it. I think I got 95% of that. Now let's talk about ICOs.
Yeah.
ICOs is, you guys know IPO, initial public offering, so the new hot thing is ICO, initial coin offering, which is if I'm a company like Kick, for example, just went ICO a couple of days ago, raised $100 million in I don't know how long, no time basically. If, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but instead of going on NASDAQ, initial public offering, you basically create your own currency and you raise money in that currency as if you're raising money. And again, some of the numbers, companies raise $250 million, some $100 million, and tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars. And that's the hot thing now. All these companies are talking about ICO. Explain this to me in really, really easy terms.
So ICO is initial coin offering. It's an abbreviation for that, and it's the equivalent of Kickstarter for the economy of an application. So you're going to build a decentralized storage system built on the blockchain, the equivalent of Dropbox, but instead of centralized server, it's going to be distributed. So to run that economy, instead of buying storage, you're going to have, the company is going to issue tokens, which are going to be the unit, the economic unit of this service. And they're going to enable people to buy them, okay, and to trade them, okay? So this is the equivalent of the economical value of the service. It's not what it's not. It's not selling stock or equity of the company.
Right.
You're taking some sort of asset and you're enabling people to participate. So it's like Kickstarter, but for the service
or like an IPO
built on the blockchain.
Like an
IPO would be only for stock and for equity.
Right, this is the equivalent, and I get it. Okay.
Yeah, it's very different. So you don't have the same rights, you don't have voting rights, you can just use the unit for the economy of the app.
Okay, there are three questions that I keep hearing over and over and over again. Last night on Facebook, someone asked, who here thinks Bitcoin's the worst idea in the world? And like, you got a million comments, 3 points of opposition, the 3 questions or challenges that I hear all the time. I'm sure you hear more are: 1, is it a bubble? 2, who defines the value of this crypto coin or currency? And the third one we said, what's stopping someone from hacking you?
All right.
Give me 3 answers.
So we are definitely in a hype cycle. I wouldn't call that a bubble, but definitely there is a lot more interest and money being thrown than actually smart money and real interest motivated by the interest of building in the blockchain. So a lot of people have understood that there is an opportunity to make quick money, but not coming with the right motivation. So we are in a hype cycle. There's a lot of capital being thrown in crypto, and it fuels all these crazy valuations and crazy amount of money being raised.
How much is Bitcoin worth today?
It's the whole market cap of all the tokens and all the coins together is less than that of Facebook. It's $150 billion.
Right, but so if I just to give you some context, if you haven't heard these numbers, if I had $10 of Bitcoin, 5 years ago, what would that be worth today around?
At $10, it's like a fraction of Bitcoin. Like the whole Bitcoin altogether, it's about $60 billion valuation.
So those $10.
So 21 million Bitcoin out there. So that's the number that there is.
21 million?
Yeah.
So that's
and
the
it's definite unit.
That's the amount of supply. No matter what, there's no more than that.
Yeah.
No matter how many people want Bitcoin, there's only that much.
Exactly.
But if I had $10 of Bitcoin years ago, today I'd be a millionaire.
So if you bought $10 of Bitcoin at the very beginning, and right now you would be sitting probably on $1 million or something like that. Yeah.
I thought more than that. Okay, fine. So, all right. So you talked about the hype. Let's talk for 1 second about the security. We talked a little bit about blockchain, but at the end of the day, everyone says, listen, if all my money is in crypto, like there's been all these hacks. There's been hacks.
Yeah.
So what do you think
you asked a question before about what qualifies the value of the crypto.
Yes.
Basically, right now it's 2 things. It's demand and supply. Right? People can trade them on exchanges, and the price is defined by the demand and the supply, which is, let's say it very clearly, mostly speculation, because people believe that in the future this will have a lot more value.
Right.
And then we can argue of
so
why.
So far it's been proven right.
So far it's been proven one. Actually, cryptos are incredibly resilient protocols to catastrophes. Like we've seen over and over and over again, that no matter what happens in the crypto world, it goes down, but it will always come back up, and the trajectory is really up.
Let me stop you for 1 second. The big question that I keep hearing from everyone who knows nothing is like, I don't understand. The dollar I can hold in my hand, it's worth something. What is this? This is Bitcoin. It's not worth, it's nothing. It's a piece, it's data on my phone. And that's what I'm trying to say. The dollar is a piece of paper. It used to be worth something because there was a piece of gold behind it. But today, they just print more dollars as the demand increases. So the dollar is also not worth anything. Oh, but it's in the bank. What do you mean? No, it's not in the bank. You go to your bank, there's no money there. They're trading your money for you right now. The whole thing, I'm gonna maybe go a little bit far out on a limb and say it's a scam. It's somewhat of a scam. And just like that's not anything real, neither is Bitcoin something intangible in my my hand. But at the end of the day, it's more secure and it's based on real demand. That's how business is done, supply and demand. Not because some guy decided to print more dollars. So
Exactly. Well, I would summarize it in a different way. I would say money in general is a belief system, right? People believe that money has value because there are banks, because there are governments that backs it up, etc. But the belief system in the crypto world is very different. It's not trusted through a government or through whatever or through a bank. It's trusted because there are this incredible network of computers that are building a secure protocol that gets more and more and more and more value. So people start to understand where the value is created, but it's a different paradigm than the one that we've believed for many years, which, as you just described so well, has its limitation because you can print money the way you want. And let's be clear, yes, you can hold dollars in your hand, but most of the time we never hold money. Money has been digitized more and more and more.
What are you doing? When I send you money, sorry for interrupting you, when I send you money over the internet, what am I doing? I'm typing data on a computer. That's also data. Yeah. It's I'm telling you, because we're stuck in our heads. We've done this so long for the same way. It's so hard for people to understand. Just now on the holiday, I was sitting with my whole family talking about crypto, and like my sisters-in-law, they couldn't understand it. They're like, what? But a dollar isn't. I'm like, but you don't hold a dollar in your hand. You send it over your phone or over the computer. You know, if I want to give you money and you're in the US, I don't give you a dollar in your hand. I send it over the computer.
Actually, we are too old to understand it. Like, kids understand it actually very, very well and very quickly. That's why, for example, Kik managed to raise so much. It's a messenger for teens, and teens will immediately understand the value of a decentralized and virtual money.
Right, completely makes sense. So, okay, I mean, at the end of the day, the whole concept of who defines how much it's worth is the way it's supposed to be, which is demand and supply. I want your camel, depends how much I want it. If I want it, I'm willing to pay 5 pieces of straw, then it's worth 5 pieces of straw. And if I'm willing to give you 10, then it's worth 10. And if 50 other people are waiting for your camel, then it's worth 50 times more, period. Demand and supply, that's the way the world works, that's how crypto works. Exactly. Now let's talk about hacks.
So hacks are happening very, very often, and usually they don't happen because of the way the Bitcoin is designed or the blockchain is designed. This is actually super, super secure. It's usually happening because of fails of human
error.
Yeah, human errors. Like there was this typical ICO that drove a lot of money to be stolen because the CEO, which used Ashley Madison at the time, kept the same login and password for his Gmail.
Okay, so
and then people got to his Gmail and hacked the Slack channel and put the wrong wire address to raise the money for the ICO, and people send the money there. So that's typically the problem that you have.
So let me just be very clear here. Asking about, but all these things have been hacked is literally like saying, I'm going to leave the door to the safe in the bank open and then complain that the money was stolen. Like human error, period. This has nothing to do with this security of the blockchain or of these cryptos. It has to do with human error, and that's always going to be a factor, and it's always going to be an issue. Having said that, this is 80 million times more secure than, you know, a bank and some guy in a suit and a tie sitting in my bank trading my money for me. The whole thing doesn't make sense. You know, again, I'm not saying bankers are scammers, but
well, there is to be in favor of the old system. There is one thing that is in favor. If you get robbed in your bank account, your money is insured by the government. If you get robbed in your wallet on your phone, you get stolen, but there is no way you get it back. So today there's no solution for that. And the major step forward for me in the crypto world, the massive adoption will be when the governments will regulate the space and will attribute some sort of value, legal value, to the money that you own in the crypto world.
Is that ever going to happen?
It will happen. Actually, governments and authorities, financial authorities, start to study the space very seriously. They start to build projects for regulation about ICOs, about cryptos, about guarantees you can have and you should provide. For example, when you put your money in a wallet or in an exchange. And this today is absolutely non-existing, but 2 years from now it will be there.
What are you doing now? I know you're working in this field. What are you doing?
Absolutely. So right now, so I moved back from the US. A few months ago, I started to advise a few startups, and I'm preparing my new project, which will be, guess where? In the blockchain space. So I'll launch a new company soon.
Stay tuned for more details on the vlog. When you launch, we're going to do a segment on what you're doing.
I absolutely want to.
But yeah, dude, it's amazing. Let's catch up. Let's have lunch sometime, man.
We should have a good steak. I want one of the steaks that you're having. I keep liking the steaks.
Pictures on it. All right, man. This was awesome. Thank you very much for the overview.
Thank you, Hillel.
Let's get together soon. I'll shoot you a message. We'll do steak.
Will do.
All right,
absolutely, man.
Take care. Well, I'm not sure if that complicated or simplified things, but it really is very simple. The value of any entity should be based on supply and demand. There's X amount and there's X amount of demand. How many people want that entity, and more people want it, price increases, that's it. That's the way it should be, but that's not the way money works, because when there's more demand, we just increase supply, and it's all, again, I don't mean to say it's a bluff, but there's really nothing tangible behind it. And people like to think that, the dollar, because you can hold it in your hand, has real tangible value, and that's not true at all. And most business is not done in papers. It's done in data, right, over the internet at the end of the day. And so this is just taking that to the next level, getting rid of regulations, getting rid of the middleman, and just giving the power back to the people, giving the power back to the network, to the community. And listen, at the end of the day, everybody wins if this thing is adopted. I have, by the way, full disclosure, I own no crypto, no Bitcoin, no Ethereum, nothing. I own nothing, but that might change. As you can tell, I'm a little bit excited about it. I know, I would say 40, probably less, 30% of what there is to know about this world. Still learning all the time, but as I said in the beginning, those that are ignoring it or belittling it or ridiculing it are, in my opinion, the equivalent of the people that said, why do I need a mobile phone? I don't want people knowing where I am at all times. Or the people that said, Facebook? Why do I need to update the world what I'm doing? Or put a credit card into a website? What am I, crazy? That's not secure. It's the same type of people. Don't ignore it, because I don't know that it's gonna replace money, but there's no question that this world of crypto, of blockchain, of ICOs is a significant trend in the market that is here to stay. That's all. I hope that gave you a little bit of a window into this world. I myself am learning it, but it is very, very interesting. Off to lunch. Made it to Mitos, having lunch with Gal Brill, a guy I know for 100 years, serial entrepreneur, sold his last company, working with an amazing company now, and here he is. Okay, first of all, how was that steak?
Amazing.
Man, food coma if I've ever experienced. We just had, some say 500, some say 450 gram, but it was a mama steak on the bone, prime rib, amazing. Anyway, of course I forgot to take a video of it, because I always forget to take a video of it. Anywho, this right here is Gal Brill, who I know, how long do we know each other for?
At least 6, 7 years?
It's gotta be more than that.
Feels longer.
Yeah. Well, we know each other for a long time. What's it called? Browsy was not your first company, was it? Was it your first company?
It was my first company.
Oh.
It wasn't the first product.
Ah, okay. So I was an advisor at his company, which he then sold. And this guy, he has entrepreneurship running through his veins. It's in your blood to create.
Aside from the steak that we just ate.
Right. Okay, so now he surprised me by telling me he's focused, laser focused, like not doing a million things like he's always done, but laser focused on his company where he is the CTO. And I expect him to talk to me about, because he's super technical, I expect him to talk to me about flying cars or something. But no, he's building something super useful, super easy to understand, but highly, highly technological. What is kidbox.com?
So the easy part to explain is that we sell clothes for kids.
Okay.
But the sophisticated part is that we use AI to do what we call predictive e-com.
Okay.
What we do is basically we invite the mom to save time, get a better deal on the kids' clothes.
Okay.
And third part, the company's mission statement is to donate clothes for kids that didn't get any new clothes ever.
Okay, so let's back up and slow down here. Hold on. Kidbox.com, right?
Yeah.
I'm a mother or a father. I go into kidbox.com and I basically order a monthly? No, yearly.
No.
Twice a year?
No. So what we do...
What do I know?
So what we do is get the mom to kidbox.com. She goes through our quiz, which is basically 3 minutes, where you describe what the kid likes and dislikes, and then we use AI and algorithms to match clothes to that kid.
Okay.
We are delivering the box 5 times a year, basically each season and back to school.
Okay.
Special. And it's not subscription box as subscriptions are usually, where you pay a fee per month and get something. What we do is, as I said, we predict what you're gonna need for the next season.
Love it.
Send the box, nothing paid in advance. You try it home.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, try it home. If you like it all, you keep everything. If not, you do a shop a la carte, meaning you decide what you want and send us back on our charge.
I did not know that. How do you do that? Like, how do you not lose? You were saying to me before it wouldn't work in Israel. I didn't realize why it wouldn't work in Israel. In Israel, everybody would return everything all the time. In Walmart, you go, right? In Walmart, you can buy something and then you can return it within 90 days. If that policy existed in Israel, forget about it. The entire economy would crash. Like, everybody would be returning all the time.
Maybe we'll get better customers in Israel. But yeah, so basically that's our challenge here, is again to nail it down to what the kids will need, because kids outgrow their clothes faster than anyone else.
True.
They need seasonal clothes, and if we are going to do a great job, then what's going to happen is you're going to keep everything. And on top of that, as I said at the beginning, there is a mission statement that you get the mom to talk to the kid about giving, which is not the general talk every day.
So interesting, because if you talk to most online retailers, they'll tell you that their biggest challenge are returns. You guys are embracing it. You're like, return it on us. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Okay, so now talk to me again about this. Everything that I buy, you donate to charity, to children in like Africa or something? How does that work?
No. We're basically, if you're keeping the full box, aside from getting brand name clothes, not a white label that we have, literally your name brand clothes, then if you keep it all, you get a very good discount, and you're entitled to donate clothes for a kid that never got a new clothes.
Okay, so where do you find these kids?
So we are partnering with an organization that their core business is basically donating clothes. They are our partners doing that.
I love that. There are a lot of, down the block there's a restaurant, across the street there's a restaurant called Hillel.
Yeah, I know.
Hillel, it's the same thing for everybody. They give money to like start like hungry kids and stuff. That's awesome, man. That's a really cool, I guess, addition to it. But let's be honest, as much as maybe me and you would maybe shop or use a product because it's getting cheap, most people in the world, they'll buy a product because it's a good product. Yep. The fact that you're giving charity is a nice perk. But most people are not going to buy it because of the charity. Is that true?
I think it's a combination of all parts of...
What's going on? People don't want me interviewing you today. It's like, what's with all the noise today? What's going on here today? Oh no, it's the second ambulance. That is not a good sign.
No. Hopefully nothing major.
I hope nothing serious.
So basically it's a combination. We found out that moms and shoppers do not have the time to go to the shop anymore, so they're using e-com. But e-com has its own problem.
E-commerce, by the way, for us normal people.
Sorry. Yeah, e-commerce. Thank you. So then you have a problem where you're at the cart and then you're, hey, maybe I can find a better deal somewhere else.
Right.
Can I compare it? Should I go to a different site? You abandon the cart and eventually you don't buy the thing.
Abandoned carts are every single e-commerce player's biggest pain point.
Yeah. So our solution is, hey, let's use technology, match whatever we know that you're gonna use, ship it to you, then try it at home. You have 7 days to try it. Don't like it, nothing happened. You're not charged even in advance. You don't get charged. You can shop a la carte, you can return everything. So our keep rate is very high. Without getting into numbers, very high.
Can you tell me, are you allowed to talk a little bit about the company, how many people work there, how much money you've raised, how big you are, how successful? You don't want to talk about that? Big company, very successful.
We're doing good. Our founder, Chaim Dabach, is veteran citizen from the States where he sold a couple of companies. Apparel is in his blood. If technology is in mine, apparel is in his.
Okay. Come from the fashion world.
Come from the fashion world.
And your CMO, I mean the CEO, not the CMO.
Our CEO, Mickey, is very high level executive from the fashion world. She's running the company to be a huge company.
Super cool. So kidbox.com, right? That's your website.
Yep.
Check it out if you're a parent, and it's only for parents, right? At the end of the day, it's not, right? All right, super cool, man. Good luck, and let me know if I can help with anything. Thank you for the steak. That was delicious.
Thank you.
Totally random, spontaneous meeting happening right now. A friend of mine posted on Instagram that she was at the Western Wall, and I commented. Anyway, a couple of messages back and forth, and she's coming downstairs to meet me right now. Her name is Sapir, and she's the CEO of a co-working space called Merc Space. Very, very smart individual. So I should be meeting her in like 20 seconds. What's up? Who are you?
Hi.
You're camera shy. You're never on camera, right? Sapir here is like a celebrity on Instagram. Your numbers, by the way, to teach me. All right, next week we're meeting at Merc Space. There are a lot of co-working spaces in Tel Aviv, but nothing is as well designed as Merc Space. Is that true?
True.
Really? Now, how many spaces do you have now? 2? 3?
5.
Jeez, we haven't met in a long time. Last time we met, you had 1. I knew you had a second one was coming, but now you have 5. Okay, next week you're shy. You're not shy, but we're gonna do this next week. Prepare yourself, because next week we're doing a long interview. All right, cool. See ya. I love spontaneous meetings like that. Sapir is like, I've never seen numbers on Instagram like this in my life. Everything she does on Instagram gets like hundreds and thousands of likes. It's crazy. Anyway, Merkspace, super awesome co-working space. Doing incredibly well, expanding like crazy. It's a good meeting. Meeting her again next week, and I will be interviewing her. I think I'm gonna call it a day and a week. See you next week. Have a good one.